Yeah, welcome back to the show. This is Political Time. My name is Gifty Ep1 P2. We've been discussing e-transmission of election results. We're moving on from that topic to talk about presidential pardon for Montier 3. Now, this is an issue that has been going on for like forever. Okay, so 3 people have been jailed for contempt. They made some comments against the Supreme Court, against Supreme Court judges that were in very bad taste. These people have been jailed. Now, the NDC is mounting serious pressure on President Mahama to pardon these people, to basically release them from prison. We want to look at the political implications. We're going into an election. This has a lot to do with elections, actually. We're looking at what the implications will be, either or not the president, grants them this pardon and let them out. I think I'm going to start with you, Mr. Vidiako. We've seen a lot of your cabinet ministers, going to sign this petition. The lawyers of these 3 people have, done their own bit of the petition, presented it to the chief of staff for the president and all of that. Some people have said that you are basically playing a serious political game with this issue, and that you're looking at a situation where the president could say, well, I'm not going to pardon them, and then they will say, oh, that's a good president, he doesn't even sacrifice his own for principles, and then others are saying that you're doing something really terrible to this nation, and that you're going to set a very bad precedent. What do you say?
I don't know how
just try and hit at how it will affect your political fortune.
The fact is, you mentioned, I think, the people from the NDC side that are saying various things. But the fact is that if you look at some of our members, our colleagues at the opposite side are also saying that, look, it would be bad for the president. So I'm saying that if it would be bad for the president, then probably the people in the MPP side, they should be jubilating, because if the president pardoned the 3, and that will be bad for him, then there should be something that they should celebrate. But they're worried
that it will be a bad president for our country.
I don't think that, how will anything...
Then you could say that anybody can say anything and get away with it, because at the end of the day, because of political expediency,
not necessarily.
They can get away with it.
Because I think it's the president prerogative as stipulated in Article 72 of the 1992 Constitution to exercise that power when there is a need. And I think the president has exercised that power before in the case of Mr. Ademu.
Well, we've said that over
I'm coming, yes.
But that's a different situation.
Oh, yes,
we're talking about a man who was pardoned on humanitarian basis. Yeah. He was sick, and he had been in parliament. He had been in prison for some time. These people have been in prison for
in the Constitution, there are various ways by which president can exercise this power. You see, one argument is that if the same Constitution that gives power to the Supreme Court to act in a certain way, then the argument is that if the president goes to the Constitution, the same Constitution, and exercise certain power, then that one will be dangerous for our country.
What do you think are the political implications for the president?
For me, I don't think there's any political implication for the president.
Seriously?
Oh, yes.
There is.
Oh, yes. You see, the thing is that, let me explain. What is the political? Maybe I don't know, but
the NDC fanatics have said that, well, I won't describe them as fanatics. Let's say NDC sympathizers have said that no release for the Montier 3, no vote. Have you heard that?
Look,
that's the political implication right there.
Look, no release for the what?
For Montier 3, no vote.
You see, as to whether, if this thing has been signed and it presented to the president, as to whether the president will exercise that power or not, I cannot tell, or nobody can tell.
Yeah, that's why we're looking at it. If he does, if he releases them, what do you think will be the political implications?
If he releases them, fine. Those who are making the argument, they will be satisfied in it.
Which argument?
No, you said you mentioned. You said I didn't see anybody. You said stop NDC people.
No, hold on. We are looking at two situations here, 2 scenarios. Yeah. One, the president can release them. There are political implications to that. Now, the people who are saying no release, no vote are going to say, yay, and then they're going to vote for your party, probably. And then he could say, well, no, I won't just release you because, it will set a bad precedent. Then the people will say, well, no release, no votes, then, and that would affect your political fortunes.
I don't think it is simple like that, because before the president would have exercised by power, a lot of things would have been taken into consideration, and probably how to calm members, that would have been done. Okay. So I don't think that we should see this as having any political implication for this. I think it is the rule of law that is operating within our country. The judiciary has done their work. It will not amount into interference of the judiciary. If the president is actually doing this whilst they are still on the case, then we will say that the president is interfering in the judiciary. The judiciary has exercised that power that the Constitution recognizes. Now, there are a lot of citizens also in Ghana that believe that, well, looking at the judgment, as we are all saying, that the judgment is too severe, and that let ask the president to pardon them, maybe probably to
severe. It's severe because they are NDC. They're NDC supporters. It's severe because they speak for the NDC, because there are people in jail who have done committed no crime, actually, people on remand who also deserve to be pardoned.
I know.
You have not spoken for those people, have you?
I know. Gifty,
that's why there is a political implication in this discussion.
There's one fact that we need to understand as a country that, look, we wouldn't have arrived in this particular situation or even going back and forth on this issue. But because everything in Ghana now is become political, until we agree to ourselves that, oh look, we need to actually reduce the political influence and probably do something that we all agree on, that will be fine. But if MPP people want, no, don't release them. The NDC people say, oh look, release them because the punishment is severe. So they're asking the president, can you exercise your power so that these powers
there's no political implication
so that this punishment can be mitigated or lessened a bit. So I think that, look, you need to look at the political device that, look, we are all arguing. We in the past we know the behavior of our fellow MPP people, even going to BNI and so many things, people carrying cutlass, they do so many things. So we can see that everything in our country now is political dynamics.
Because that's what you have made it. Anyway, that's
what not just you, all the politicians. I think we need to do something about that.
That's what all the politicians have made it, and it's sad. Dr. Kisi, what do you think are the political implications? Now, it looks as if the NDC is always waiting to hear what you say or what the NPP does.
No, necessarily.
It doesn't?
No, necessarily.
Great. But what if the president releases them? You guys are going to come up and say, well, you see, as we said, the president is not, it's not abiding by his encouraging irresponsible speech. If he doesn't release them, what do you think the political implications will be?
Well, I am not the one to assess, the political implications for NDC. They can do that. They can do that themselves. That's what I'm opening up with. But before I go into my submission, I would like to address an erroneous impression that Alex is creating that, for us everything is about politics. No. If everything...
That's the way you have made it.
If everything is about politics...
That's the way you vote.
I think Gifty is seeing it. I'm the third party, any other third party.
Your submission...
Anyway,
your submission gives it away. That's what you think. You see, if everything was about politics, we, the MPP, would just sit back and encourage the president to release them. Because if the president releases them, all right, there would be serious implications on his own political fortune. If people have been so careless and people have behaved in such a manner, towards not just the institution as the judiciary, but individuals also within the institution. And the institution has meted this punishment to them as stipulated by the Constitution. As you would appreciate that the maximum sentence could have been 3 years. All right? 3 years. And they were given only 4 years.
4 months.
Sorry, only 4 months. So that is just compared to the possible maximum, it's insignificant.
Dr. Kisi, as far as you're concerned,
and yet you
this
are
doesn't
complaining.
come with political implications.
I'm sorry?
This doesn't come with political implications.
It does absolutely come with political implications, but that's what I'm saying. They have to do their own calculations.
Well, help us out.
Well, that's what I'm saying, that if we want to be selfish and just think about ourselves as a party and just winning election 2016, we'll be encouraging the president to release them.
That is not genuine.
Because, yes, that's what I'm saying. That if we just want to enhance our own political fortune, we'll encourage the president to release them. Because then that will send a strong message across to Ghanaians that the president does not care about the judiciary as an institution. Okay, because if the president releases them, it will be an affront on the judiciary. Okay,
and you use that in your
obviously we will use that in our campaign. Okay. But we are thinking about the country. We are thinking about certain wrong precedents that people think that because their party is in power, they can sit on radio and say anything that they like and they can get away with it. That will be the message that will be sent across to people. Okay. What do you think was at the back of the minds of these people when they were making all these utterances? It was just simply because they felt that there were some powers behind them. I mean, somebody like Mugabe, I mean, he said it himself that he was on the show, he was doing that because, or he was doing that for President Mahama. All right, and I have had a personal experience of the behavior of a presenter like Mugabe, where they were saying a whole lot of nasty things about our presidential candidates, and I phoned in to correct, you know, the wrong impression and the wrong message that they were putting out there, and they gave it to me big time. They gave it to me. So this is not a behavior that anyone should encourage. And if the president releases these people, then he will be encouraging irresponsible behavior on our radio.
And that will definitely not miss the list of things you speak.
Absolutely. That will be a big campaign message for us.
Interesting.
I think it's argument that
it's all right. We're wrapping up on that.
We're wrapping up on that because you said a lot on this topic.
Well, I'm actually trying to time. I'm actually trying to time. But let's make progress and talk about and go into our regional debates. Now,
have you finished with this topic? Because I don't think I've said enough.
You haven't said enough. I think you have. Okay, basically, you made your point. Your position is clear that it's not for you to, you know, look at the political implications and that you're leaving it to the NDC. But if the president, your position is that do not release them. But if the president does release them, that it will be an affront, like you're saying, to responsible speech on the airwaves. So
you see that the point you make
can
be contested.
I think you had your time on this subject.
Yes, you did. Please.
Is it you have
but you're going to have to wrap up for me.
Yes, let me wrap up. You have ministers of state, okay, who are being paid by public funds, okay, to do some work for us as a people, and they find it expedient to support such a cause, you know. And we have, you know, look at what was said about the Chief Justice, all right, and we have women ministers of state, women cabinet ministers of state, who you would have thought that they will line up behind this lady and support her.
And with this, you mean the Minister for Gender, the Minister for Gender and Social Protection, who has been an activist,
who used to be
you think that all of those people, then we have the Minister of Education as well, who is a woman. You think that it was in bad taste for them to have gone out there?
In very bad taste for them to be calling for the release of these people, right? You know, and they have not been in there for long. It's not like they've been there for a couple of months and then you're saying that okay, President, they've been punished enough, so please release them this time. They are immediately after they've been sentenced calling for their release. Right. What kind of message do you want to send across to the young ones who are growing up? That you can sit on radio, if your party is in power, you can say anything and you get away with it.
Okay, definitely not a good thing. But we'll see how it goes. We're still waiting for the response from the presidency, whether or not those three will be pardoned. This issue isn't going away any time soon. But we are going to make progress with our discussion because we want to go into the Upper West region, the first on the list for our regional debate, to talk about what the parties have done, how much development have they brought to the regions. And I'm just going to start by telling you a few things about the Upper West region. The Upper West region has 11 constituencies. They're all NDC held seats, except for one that went to an independent candidate. And that independent candidate is pro-NDC, we understand. It's a party that has been, it's a region that has been favorable to the NDC. I'll tell you about 4 key constituencies here. There's the Wa East constituency, which, you know, got a bit shaky for the NDC in 2004 because an NPP person won that seat. In Nadoli Kalil, Alban Bagbin, who is the majority leader in parliament, is on that seat for the NDC. In Wa Central, Rashid Purpo has been there since 2000, and he is the Minister of State in charge of PPP, Public-Private Partnership. The regional minister, Amin Suleiman, is Sisala West MP, and the Jirapa constituency is there as well. We have the Laura constituency, which is held by Benjamin Kumbo. So this is very big for you, isn't it? I'm just wondering, what's not working for you, NPP, in Upper West region?
Well,
It's quite pathetic, isn't it?
Well, it's rather unfortunate that we're not doing so well there.
Why?
I mean that's it's something that we're working very hard on.
What are you doing?
And well, we've got people on the ground. I mean, we've got people like Anthony Cabo who's targeting the Laura seat. And we've got. I mean, I don't want to tell you what our strategy is in the Upper
yes,
West
I trust
region.
the NPP to do that.
But we are on the ground in the area, and we are targeting a few seats, and we are going to enhance our fortunes in the region in the coming.
I'm going to take another break. When I return, I'll go to Mr. Bediako, and then we'll find out what is that magic that's working for the NDC in the Upper West region. Please stay with us.